Yeah, so we're sort of inadvertently in Charleston with an unprecedented amount of snow. I think this is pretty much a record for them here. And it snowed, I guess the snow stopped yesterday morning. We were trying to just let it melt off naturally. We're starting to get a little impatient and it's holding things up. I was trying to avoid using any kind of shovel because, well, I think the non-skid can handle it. You know, if you accidentally rub the ice up against the edge of varnish or the paint, I think you're going to have an issue. Considering we're in Charleston, South Carolina, I don't think anybody was expecting any kind of snow. The whole city is pretty much shut down here because they don't have snow plows, they don't have ice scrapers or anything. We got a super packed schedule here with pretty much everything on the schedule's been in the works for a couple months. We're headed down to Thunderbolt, Georgia, Saturday morning. It'll be about a 95 or 100 mile run. We'll probably do it in the ocean. It'll take us 10 hours or so. We'll get down to Thunderbolt. We'll pull the boat out of the water on Monday morning. That's been scheduled for about 2 months. And we'll do the boat's been in the water for, I guess, 8-9 months now. So the boat really needs bottom paint, and the hull paint also could use some love while we're there. So we're gonna do that along with some varnish, and that should reset the clock for, you know, about a year on all of that kind of stuff.
We really did a full restoration of Coastal Queen. From the top down, bow to stern. She got an all new bottom, new keel, new planking, and really gave her a new lease on life.
Now, Coastal Queen, like all of our projects, when we start, we don't really know what we're getting into, and she is no exception. Once we had the bottom opened up and could really get to look at the keel and all that planking and framework and stuff like that, the project grew dramatically.
One of the largest challenges that we have in any project, and Coastal Queen is no exception, is you really cannot predict the scope of the project until you're in it. One of the themes in a lot of our restorations is the idea that we're trying to blend traditional boat building with some more contemporary practices. So double planking the bottom of the boat is not how she was originally, but as we bring in some more modern technologies like the stabilizer and larger engine, double planking the boat and making a few changes like that in her structure became, there was no question that that was something that was going to be done and would help the boat tremendously. The standard operating procedure for the gyro is that the manufacturer doesn't want you to leave the dock without it spinning at least a little bit.
At least at 1,000, right?
At least 1,000, yeah, 1,000 RPM. And not to say that they just want you to use it all the time. They don't want the boat going in a sea state and point loading a bearing with the gyro stopped. So ultimately, the gyro sort of always wants to be running, but more practically, it always wants to be stabilizing the boat.
on a nice day when a sport fish comes by you on the intercoastal and you're paying attention, it can put all your lunch on the sole.
Right, especially with Coastal Queen, you know, she's got that flat bottom. If she's got a chance to roll, she will. And so ultimately, you know, having that gyro running all the time, and the captain has done that. The boat has done thousands of miles so far, and the gyro runs, you know, pretty consistently. When they're at the dock, it's one thing, but when you're, you know, away and you're using the boat, you know, why not have it running? That's its job.
One of the challenges we had with the interior design layout a little bit is trying to understand from Henry and talking to Peter on how the boat's going to be used and how many bunks they wanted, which was as many as you could, but at the same time, you know, having the accommodations nice and spacious, and you know, with the captain's quarters and how the heads doors were going to open up and who could access a head when someone was in that starboard cabin. These are all challenges that we kind of like, they just kind of grew, and we kind of kept changing mock-ups and
I remember being down, you know, in the hull of the boat as we finally had a platform to walk on and trying to visualize these spaces. And until you can start defining the space, you really don't know how well it's going to work out. Is there going to be enough room for this head? Is there going to be enough room for this companionway? Is the walk between X and Y going to be a comfortable pathway? And are we going to be able to fit everything that we had hoped to between heads and showers and guest quarters and crew cabins and so on in the space that we thought we could?
They kept talking about, again, the usage of the boat and what works the best for them. And the bottom line was Peter Kellogg has a lot of friends and he wants to take them cruising with him. And we needed to find more bunks.
Right. And it also, you know, the boat acts as a support ship for sailboat racing. We designed Coastal Queen to live possibly on a mooring or at anchor with a large sailboat rafted up next to her. Or Coastal Queen is able to accommodate the crew from that sailboat. The sailboat is also able to plug into Coastal Queen as if Coastal Queen was a dock. All the different systems on board are designed to support more than just Coastal Queen, but they're designed to support another boat alongside it, because these boats in some scenarios will be traveling as a pair, with Coastal Queen as sort of the primary vessel.
Being the mothership, where they come over for dinner and a hot shower, right, and hopefully a bunk.
And hopefully a bunk.
I think one of the coolest things with the Coastal Queen restoration was that Peter Kellogg having so much interest in the process.
Excited about it.
And to come down to the boat and see all the guys working and have all that, again, questions and interest was really exciting. And then the other part that Peter Slack was able to come down and make this whole series on this project, so Peter Kellogg could see what it took, and also, you know, wooden boat enthusiasts all over the world.
And in some cases, as we've learned, people that weren't wooden boat enthusiasts, but
Yeah,
were
exactly,
interested,
right.
became interested in the process
Yeah.
of how to create something, and trying to be able to share that with not only a very enthusiastic owner and wanting to create something for he and his family, but being able to sort of expand that to others who maybe had just not seen that process before.
And we're so blessed to have a group or owners to want to see the project all the way through. That was just huge, and wanting to see the right things happen for the boat.
Willing to see the boat fixed at obviously a great expense, but wanting to see the end product, and that being the most important thing.
And make her good for another 100 years.
you.